heartbeat on string.
Well, thank you for that far too kind introduction, and thank all of you for being here this morning. It's actually been just about 10 years since the first time that I ever came to a Family Research Council Values Voters Summit. And this event and this community and all of you people here have been such an important incubator for so many ideas and such a safe place for people on people right of center to test out new ideas and to roll out different projects for so many years. And so that's been so important to my work and so many others. And so thank you all for being a part of that. And thank you all for being here again this year. It's really good to see you. I know that we have lunch coming up in a little bit, so I'm going to try to keep my remarks appropriately brief. Sometimes I have a little bit of difficulty doing that, and so if something like that should happen this morning, I just want to let you all know that you can always call the California Attorney General's office, and they will be happy to send 11 jackbooted thugs to carry me off the stage. When I last was here to talk to you all last year, I told you about how now, 3 years after the release of the Center for Medical Progress's undercover videos of Planned Parenthood's senior-level leadership callously negotiating the harvesting and sale of tiny aborted baby hearts, lungs, livers, and brains, those videos now have over 13 million views on YouTube alone and have been viewed many more dozens of millions of times in more traditional media. And in leaked board meeting minutes, the George Soros Open Societies Foundation said of these videos that they have, quote, upended Planned Parenthood, and that, quote, the video's long-term consequences involve the substantial eroding of Planned Parenthood's credibility and reputation. Thank you. Thank you. It's true. It's true. It's true. And actually, that's very true because of these videos, we are now one vote away from defunding Planned Parenthood nationally of their $500 million in taxpayer funds. We are one vote away from that in the U.S. Senate. So it's very, very important. And already the Trump administration, the pro-life Trump administration, has begun the process of defunding Planned Parenthood by strictly enforcing existing law against taxpayer funds being used to prop up big abortion businesses like Planned Parenthood, and they've begun doing that now through the Health and Human Services Department. And of course, the videos prompted two comprehensive, nationwide in scope congressional investigations, one in the Senate Judiciary Committee and the other in the House Energy and Commerce Committee's Select Investigative Panel. Those two more than year-long congressional investigations confirmed all of the major allegations that were raised in the undercover videos, that Planned Parenthood is selling baby body parts for profit per body part, that Planned Parenthood abortion doctors are changing the way they do their abortion procedures and resorting to illegal abortion methods like partial birth abortion in order to get high-quality body parts, and that this activity has been known about and promoted at the highest levels of Planned Parenthood for years. The congressional investigations confirmed all of those findings, plus found even further violations and wrongdoing at Planned Parenthood and their many business partners, and made over a dozen criminal and regulatory referrals for Planned Parenthood and their business partners to state, local, and federal law enforcement. And just a few months after we last spoke together at FRC last year in 2017, in December of last year, the U.S. Department of Justice announced officially that they have an active federal investigation of Planned Parenthood and their business partners based on the criminal referrals from the congressional investigation. They are under federal investigation right now. And also in December of last year, 2 of Planned Parenthood's longtime business partners in the sale of baby body parts in my home area in Southern California, in Orange County, California, 2 of their business partners, 2 companies, admitted guilt for selling aborted baby body parts from Planned Parenthood in Southern California against the law in a $7.8 million settlement with the local district attorney. And the district attorney credited CMP's undercover video reporting with prompting this first successful prosecution of a node of Planned Parenthood's baby body parts network. And I'd like to show a little bit of those videos now.
Now a story we guarantee most of you have never heard before. Big money is being made from the sale of fetal body parts.
Even the most ardent pro-choice advocates, like Planned Parenthood President Gloria Feld, are disturbed by what we found.
It seems inappropriate, totally inappropriate. Where there is wrongdoing, it should be prosecuted and should be brought to justice.
A lot of people want intact parts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. A, B nodes, SA. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible. People just want
livers.
Some people want lower extremities too, which that's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle.
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
I'm the medical director for the national office for all of the affiliates.
So I say, okay, what are you looking to supply today? We've been very good at getting heart, lung, liver. Every provider has had patients who want to donate their tissue, and they absolutely want to accommodate them. They just want to do it in a way that is not perceived as this clinic is selling tissue, this clinic is making money off of this.
Okay, so when you are or the affiliate is determining what that is monetary.
Yes.
So that it doesn't raise any question of this is what it's about. This is the main. What price range would you?
You know, I'm going to throw a number out. I would say it's probably anywhere from $30 to $100, depending on the facility and what's involved.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes. And if they can do a little better than break even and do so in a way that, you know, seems reasonable, they're happy to do it.
How much of a difference can that actually make if you know what's expected or what we need versus?
It makes a huge difference. I'd say a lot of people want liver, and for that reason, most providers will do this case under ultrasound guidance, so they'll know where they're putting their forceps. Kind of rate-limiting step of the procedure is calvarium. Calvarium, the head is basically the biggest part. Most of the other stuff can come out intact.
Right.
It's very rare to have a patient that doesn't have enough dilation to evacuate all the other.
To bring the body cavity out intact and all that.
So then you're just kind of cognizant of where you put your breast purse. You try to intentionally go above and below the thorax so that, you know, we've been very good at getting heart, lung, liver, because we know that, so I'm not going to crush that part. I'm going to basically crush below, I'm going to crush above, and then I'm going to see if I get it out intact. And with the calvarium, in general, some people will actually try to change the presentation so that it's not a vertex, because when it's a vertex presentation, you never have enough dilation at the beginning of the case unless you have a real huge amount of dilation to deliver an intact calvarium. So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. So I mean, there are certainly steps that can be taken.
So they can convert to breech, for example, at the start of the...
Exactly. Under ultrasound guidance, they can just change the presentation. Under ultrasound guidance, they can just change the presentation.
To bring the body cavity out, intact and all that.
So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. Federal abortion ban is a law, and laws are up to interpretation. So if I say on day one I do not intend to do this, what ultimately happens doesn't matter.
So yesterday was a clinic day. For example, like, what did you procure?
You know, I asked her at the beginning of the day what she wanted. Yesterday she's been at, a lot of people want intact parts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. AB nodes, SA. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible. People just want
livers.
Some people want lower extremities too, which that's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle. But
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
if you maintain enough of the dialogue to the person that's actually doing the procedures and they understand what the end game is, there are little things, changes they can make in your technique to increase your
Even though they have a set way that they do it, they're open to changing them.
The reasonable people, sure. For example, so I had 8 cases yesterday, and I knew exactly what we needed, and I kind of looked at the list, and I said, all right, this 17-leaker has 8 lambs, and this... So I knew which were the cases that were probably more likely to yield what we needed, and I made my decisions according to that, too. So it's worth having a huddle at the beginning of the day, and that's what I do.
Rather than having to deal with all the different affiliates, if there were a way to partner with PPFA directly to get some kind of like pre-clearance or something, so that we have...
do this. And at the national office, we have a litigation and law department which just really doesn't want us to be the middle people on this issue right now. Because we were approached by STEM Express to do the same thing. One of the Northern California affiliates said, we're working with these people, we love it, we think every affiliate should work with them. And so we had a conversation, and we said, you know, what do you think, we'll just go out and find all the people that are doing this and present everybody with a menu, and they, at the end of the day, they just decided right now it's too touchy an issue for us to be an official middleman. But that,
when you say right now, do they see a future?
Right now, the way the Supreme Court looks, I don't think it looks very good.
Okay.
If you talk to my litigation and law folks, anything that's going to go to the Supreme Court right now, we are all losers. But I will tell you that behind closed doors, these conversations are happening with the affiliates.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes. So if you do it starting from the breech presentation, there's dilation that happens as the case goes on, and often the last you can evacuate an intact calvarium. And if they can do a little better, then break even and do so in a way that, you know, seems reasonable. They're happy to do it. I will tell you that behind closed doors, these conversations are happening with the affiliates.
The California Attorney General's office, first under now U.S. Senator Kamala Harris, and now under Attorney General Javier Becerra, both agree with me, both agree with us, that there are crimes depicted on these videotapes. They just think the crime is the fact that these conversations about the sale of baby body parts that congressional investigations and local investigations have now found constitute crimes to be investigated and to be prosecuted. They think the real crime is that this was recorded on video in public areas and public restaurants. This is the first case, mine is the first case of the California video recording law, which permits recording of conversations in public areas and open spaces where it can be overheard. This is the first case of undercover video in a news gathering context being prosecuted in the state of California ever in history by the Attorney General's office. Local news journalists do this in California on a daily and weekly basis, and none of them have heard from the Attorney General's office. I am the only one. So it's a discriminatory prosecution, it's viewpoint discrimination, it's wrong, and we're demanding that the case be thrown out this fall. It's not the only viewpoint discrimination against pro-lifers going on in the California judicial system right now. Planned Parenthood and their allies at the National Abortion Federation have 2 federal lawsuits against me and CMP as well, in which, when you strip away all of the rhetoric, what they're basically upset about, they're saying that it's fraud that we didn't actually buy baby body parts from them in real life. So figure out how that one's working. The only reason that those lawsuits are still persisting is because they're in front of a biased federal judge, William Orrick, who helped open and run and fund a Planned Parenthood in San Francisco for many years before he became a federal judge. He is the judge who's responsible for the gag order on the remaining unreleased undercover videotapes that we have. Enough material for about 12 videos in total. We'll also be pushing this fall for that gag order to be removed and for the videos to finally be liberated for all the world and all of history to see. The exploitation of our unborn brothers and sisters is only able to be perpetuated so long as secrecy surrounds the practice of industrial-scale, taxpayer-funded child killing in the abortion industry in America. That's why it's so important that just this summer, the news broke that the Health and Human Services Department, FDA, has renewed a contract for baby body parts with the company Advanced Bioscience Resources, or ABR, which is one of the entities purchasing baby body parts from Planned Parenthood and reselling them, that was the subject of criminal referrals by the congressional investigations and is under DOJ investigation right now. The news was revealed that the FDA, as of this summer, signed a renewed contract with ABR to purchase, quote, fresh aborted baby body parts for top dollar in taxpayer money. It's unconscionable that the United States government would be sending a message with taxpayer dollars that these children are worth more to the US government dead than alive. And it's imperative that all of us make sure that our voices on that issue are heard. It's imperative that the videos continue to be shared, continue to be viewed, and that policymakers and your elected representatives know that you don't want taxpayer dollars to be going to fund the commodification of our unborn brothers and sisters like widgets on an assembly line. And I'm confident, thank you. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time and your concern and all of your efforts. And I'm confident that if together we continue to work together, we continue to keep the faith, and we continue to push forward, I'm confident that we'll soon see a day when there is no longer a price tag put on human life. Thank you.
You say you've got to stand for something, or you'll fall for any